Pennywise the dancing clown, Twisty the clown. Clowns that are works of fiction, yes, but greatly inspired by fact. And that fact, of course, is Pogo the Clown, probably better known as John Wayne Gacy, the real killer clown. Why, hello there. My name is Dr. Peter Persil, and welcome to a new edition of My Real Horrors. So, in this we're going to be talking about American serial killer John Wayne Gacy, who had the alter ego Pogo the Clown, and throughout his years of murder, the horrors of his clown persona, Pogo, inspired many horror clowns in literature that we still have today. In fact, could he be the reason why we're afraid of clowns? Why people have that fear? Well, I believe if it wasn't for John Wayne Gacy, we wouldn't have characters like Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story, or maybe the influence of Pennywise the dancing clown from Stephen King's It. So, who exactly is John Wayne Gacy? Well, see here. He was born on the 17th of March, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, USA, and died on the 10th of May, 1994, aged 52, of lethal injection. And he had 2 children, was married to a woman, but had affairs with men too. In his final moments, he requested that he had an interview, and he did say that he is not gay, but bisexual. His death count went to 12, primarily. He was convicted of 1 count of sodomy, 33 counts of murder, 1 count of sexual assault, 1 count of indecent literature with children. So, he made quite the name for himself. Of course, he served prison before. One time he was in prison was for sexual abuse on one of his interns. You see, John Wayne Gacy worked as a shoe salesman, and in weekends he would entertain children at the hospital as Pogo the Clown. One time he attempted on sexually abusing one of his assistants that he had. That assistant got away and lived to tell his tale. That when, in the 60s, John Wayne Gacy, he was then arrested and imprisoned for his crime. Whilst he was in prison, he actually got on with everyone, even mingled with guards. He didn't serve his full time, and of course, he was let go due to good behavior. There was his spouses, Marilyn Myers from 1964 to 69, divorced. Then there was Carol Hoff, 1972 to 76. John Wayne Gacy had, well, a lot of psychological problems. Taking on the persona of Pogo the Clown, He entertained children in the children's ward at hospitals, but he also used this persona to kill people. He got great joy out of it, and his victim count goes up to 33 and possibly more. He was arrested on the 12th of December 1978, so he committed his crimes from 1972 to 1978 and was sentenced to death. As his last meal, he requested a bucket of KFC chicken and strawberries, and to have his sister with him whilst he enjoyed his final course in the prison yard. According to his sister, she loved him, but she hated him for what he had done. And when he was put on the lethal injection, his final words was, "Kiss my ass." Basically, he had no remorse for what he'd done. He even had a recorded interview in his final moments because he wanted to come clean, I guess. But he got away with his crimes for a good number of years. And of course, he would get the bodies of his victims and bury them in his basement under his house, where the bodies were eventually discovered. But this character of fact, Pogo the Clown, has inspired so much horror in clowns over the years. We have Stephen King's It. We have Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story. Of course, the Joker, he was inspired by a 1928 silent film and was around long before John Wayne Gacy was. John Wayne Gacy has even gone on to appear in fictitious literature such as American Horror Story, South Park, and so many others. He even had a made-for-television film in 2003 called Gacy, following him as, well, Pogo the Clown. So, was it Stephen King that truly made us fear clowns? I believe it was this man that inspired Stephen King to write that character of Pennywise. Even though Pennywise is technically not a clown, but a shape-shifting entity that takes the shape of a clown because people fear them. But of course, as I said, many other clowns in fiction and horror, particularly Twisty the Clown, inspired American Horror Story creators, and he appeared in the 4th season of American Horror Story Freak Show, and then reappeared in Cult, the 7th season, and has gone on to be a very popular character in that franchise. But just think, if it wasn't for this man, John Wayne Gacy, we would not have had all this fictitious literature that we have today. So, of course, we have John Wayne Gacy, the real killer clown, for giving us this inspiration in horror and creating these fictitious creatures. Of course, I would have loved to have indulged in going into his mind. It does fascinate me to this very day. I love real horror. You see, the fact inspires the fiction, and the fiction is good. But it's always, well, the fiction that inspires that fact. I think I've gone over everything I need to go through here with you. So let me know, do you think John Wayne Gacy tapped real fear into people that have that phobia? Chlorophobia, I believe it's called now. The fear of clowns. Do share your thoughts with this. I have been Dr. Peter Persil, and this has been my Real Horrors. Till next time, don't have nightmares.